in duplicate. Can the power of Point Given be harnessed? Are we about to see the dawning of a true Triple Crown hopeful? Or will Congaree, his stablemate, be Baffert's triumphant return to the Churchill Winner's Circle? A similar Derby dream rises from an oasis, where Sheikh Mohammed brings his hopes aboard Express Tour. One of 17 hopefuls trying to catch lightning in a bottle. Years of wondering, days of preparation, minutes to post time. The dream is now. The run for the roses is next. And as the horses approach the starting gate, let's recheck the odds. Song and a Prayer 35, Millennium Wind 9, Balto Star 8-1, 7-1 still on Congaree, Dollar Bill still at 6. 10-1 on Monarchos, and Point Given at 9-5. The others are long shots. The closer, Jamaican Rum, at 20-1. And there's a look at Point Given and Gary Stevens as they approach the starting gate. And a look at Dollar Bill, ridden by Pat Day, riding in his 18th consecutive Derby. That is a record. So they're starting to load into the gate for the Derby. Over a mile and a quarter. They all carry 126 pounds. Grade 1 race with $1,112,000. The total purse, $812,000 to the winner. And the first leg of the Visa Triple Crown. And to call the Kentucky Derby, Tom Durkin is high atop the stands here at Churchill Downs. Tom, what will you look for at the start of the Derby?
Well, at the start, I'm going to be looking at a few horses, particularly the first 3 from post positions 1, 2, and 3. Often in the Kentucky Derby, there's a lot of bumping coming out of those starting gates. Song and a Prayer, Millennium Wind, and Balto Star all have a lot of speed, so that'll be very key for them in the beginning. And then along with all of the favorite players at Churchill Downs and around the country, around the world, in fact, to be looking at post position number 17 for the favorite Point Given. Keats goes into post position number 14. He's expected to deliver a lot of early speed too. And there is Point Given. Point Given, a magnificent looking thoroughbred, standing 17 hands high. And he will stand in post position number 17 as he takes his place in the spot of the starting gate for the 127th running of the Kentucky Derby. The crowd starts to roar. We're ready for a start in the Run for the Roses. Talk Is Money was acting up just a bit in the starting gate. And they're off in the Kentucky Derby. And Song and a Prayer comes out in stride from his inside post. Balto Star is there, not far behind Millennium Wind. And here comes Keats from the far outside. Bias for the first time. And it is Song and a Prayer to lead the way. Balto Star right there with them. Keats on the outside is running along in 3rd. Millennium Wind is behind them 4th. Congaree is 5th. And Point Given is on the outside, heading for the clubhouse turn. He's racing in 6th position now. And then it's Talk Is Money 7th in between horses. Express Tour is close to the pace. He's only about 6 lengths from the lead. Then it's a break of 5 lengths now. Invisible Ink is 9th on the outside. Star Tech is running in 10th. AP Valentine is 11th. Thunder Blitz lumbering along in 12th place. Then it's a break of another 3 back to Monarchos. Dollar Bill followed on the inside by Arctic Boy. A break of 6 to Stretch running long shots. 50 Stars and Jamaican Rum. They're 20 lengths from the lead. The opening half mile was the fastest in Derby history. 44 4/5 seconds. Song and a Prayer's pace is blistering down the backstretch. With 4.5 furlongs remaining, it's Song and a Prayer, and he leads by 2 lengths over Balto Star. Millennium Wind is now 3rd toward the inside. Congaree in good striking position on the outside. And the pent-up power of Point Given. 5 lengths from the lead, he's beginning to advance. Express Tour is right with him as the field rounds the far turn. Then Invisible Ink. Thunder Blitz is well within striking range. Jorge Chavez gets busy on Monarchos, and they're surging as they move toward the top of the stretch. And Congaree has come away with the lead. Here comes his stablemate, Point Given, on the outside. They're in 3/4 in 1:09.1. Record time here in the Derby. You're at the top of the stretch, and it is Congaree who is full out. Here comes Monarchos under a heavy drive on the far outside. Invisible Ink is there. Point Given not today. 1 furlong left. Here comes Monarchos, who sweeps to the lead. He's pulling away by 2. He's pulling away by 3. Jorge Chavez and Monarchos have won the Kentucky Derby, and the final time was 1 minute 59 4/5 seconds. He was was as fast as Secretariat. And it was a photo for second there. Invisible Ink in Calgary as well. Absolutely thrilling. Jorge Chavez on top of the world. Jorge Chavez on top of the Kentucky Derby winner.
Oxley and John Ward, the trainer, celebrating a victory for the home team. John Ward, the only Kentucky-born trainer in the field. There's his wife, Donna, on the left, who is really co-trainer of all their horses. Jack Oxley, his wife, Debbie, who had come to the Kentucky Derby with Pyramid Peak and Jambalaya Jazz and not done too well a few years ago, decided to get into the three-year-old picture in a big way. They've been active at the sales, and here they are winning with Monarchos in spectacular time. Donna Brothers is on horseback next to Jorge Chavez and Monarchos. Donna?
Georgie, in your fourth attempt in the Kentucky Derby, you come away a winner on Monarchos. A lot of people lost faith in this horse after his Wood Memorial second place finish to Congaree. How about you?
Well, I'm so happy. I'm excited. Oh my God. And I have my first kid.
So you never lost faith in Monarchos' ability to win the Derby?
Well, I never did. I know you were ready for today. And always I was ready for him. I know that.
Did you have the kind of trip you'd hoped to get, Georgie?
Pardon me?
Did you have the kind of trip that you had hoped to get?
Not really. I don't want to move him too early because I know that the stretch is a little longer. I just take my time, and I know when I move it, he was going to explode.
At what point did you feel pretty confident you could win it?
Well, the last 16, but when I'm catching the other horse stopping, I said, I got it. I just sounded worried that somebody else was coming behind me.
Well, congratulations, Georgie. Tom, very jubilant. Georgie Chavez, winner of the 127th Kentucky Derby aboard Monarchos.
All right, Donna, and John Ward has been telling anyone that would listen that the Wood Memorial didn't matter. It was just to get this horse ready. The second place finish behind Congaree didn't make any difference, that his horse was ready. He last worked him on Friday. He's the first horse since Bold Forbes in 1976 to win the Derby without a work over the track on Derby week. And Monarchos, with that late closing style, duplicating his massive move in the Florida Derby earlier to come home and take the Kentucky Derby. He came out of the Florida two-year-old sales for $170,000. He was the oldest horse in actual years in the race today, foaled on February 9th, 1998, the oldest of the 17. All horses have a universal January 1st birthday, but he was the actual in number of days oldest. And Jorge Chavez, who had been winless in 3 trips before today, gets under the wire in front. So now 9 Florida Derby winners have taken the Kentucky Derby. Thunder Gulch in 95, the latest before today, as Monarchos, a son of Maria Zman, comes home to win the Kentucky Derby. And Maria Zman was a 2-year-old champion, as we mentioned earlier. This colt is out of Regal Band by Dixieland Band and was bred in Kentucky by J.D. Squires, who was the former editor of the Chicago Tribune and now has retired to breed horses and make an occasional contribution to the Lexington Herald Leader. Monarchos, Invisible Ink. What a finish to that story. The horse that was near death a year ago. John Fort was overcome by emotion in the paddock as they saddled his horse for the race. He had been behind Monarchos in the Florida Derby, and he gets second in the Kentucky Derby. Meanwhile, number 17, Point Given. The super horse predictions go by the boards, and Charlesy, I didn't really see any excuse for Point Given. He came out of the final turn in striking distance and just did not have the finishing kick. Here's Bob Newmeyer.
Tom, I'm eavesdropping on a conversation between jockey John Velasquez and the stewards here at Churchill Downs.
Excuse me.
I don't want to interrupt the conversation, but what Velasquez is doing is claiming foul against Monarchos for alleged interference at the quarter pole. John, could you wait 1 second? Well, he's got the phone here. John, could you just explain to our audience what you're claiming for?
Going right to the quarter pole, I mean, I'm making a move, and he moving the outside of me, kind of brought me in, put me behind the other horse, kind of had to steady a little bit my momentum. I had to take a shot and claim foul against him.
So Chavez shut you off exactly where in the track again?
By the quarter pole, past the quarter pole.
Do you think this is a means for a disqualification?
Well, I sure hope so anyway, but, you know, I'm going to try.
John Velasquez taking a shot here on a DQ involving
Stevens,
the unofficial winner, Monarchos. and Invisible Ink, the unofficial second-place finisher. Now it's up to the stewards.
All right, we'll take a look at it. There has never been a race disqualification in the Kentucky Derby.
All right, we'll take a look at this. We see in here we're looking for Invisible Ink, number 13. He's
Invisible Ink, like Monarchos, coming from off the pace.
Figure 8.
Number 13, you see him in the purple silks. Coming between horses
Here
here
he is
with
in the middle here. There's Invisible Ink.
Monarchos on his outside as Chavez hits Monarchos right-handed right there. And Monarchos coming in and brushing a bit and maybe cutting in front of Invisible Ink right there as Chavez switches to the left-hand whip, try to keep his colt straight. And here is Monarchos that will then go on and put some distance between himself and Invisible Ink, and that could play in the steward's decision. He did win by such a decisive margin, but he definitely did come over in front of Invisible Ink.
He did not appear to impede Invisible Ink's progress, though.
It didn't appear that Invisible Ink had to check stride at all as we looked at that replay. So the result not yet official, but Invisible Ink claiming foul against Monarchos. Meanwhile, somebody else that's not feeling so good right now, Gary Stevens on point given. He's with Mike.
Thanks, Tom. And Gary, you were laying right off of that very quick pace turning for home. You asked the horse to run about the quarter pole, and then what response did you get?
I didn't get much of a response. I got over to where I wanted to be, had good position going into the first turn, but he wasn't toe roping me like he normally does. And like Bob said, sometimes they just don't show up, and he obviously didn't show up today. Right here you can see I'm urging him a little bit right here, hoping he'll grab a hold of me a little bit and give me that confidence that I've talked about, and I wasn't feeling it. He gave me a little glimmer of hope going into the last turn. Right here I'm just behind Congaree. Got some, you know, the horses that I'm concerned about up front of me, and Bob told me, he said, don't let Monarchos get first run on you. So I'm positioned pretty much where I want to be here, but as you can see, I'm letting him bounce along, and he's not doing a whole lot for me, not giving me a lot of confidence right here.
Right, and you've ridden him so many times that you really know what kind of horse this is. Were you kind of shocked at this point?
Yeah, as you can see right here, we got David Flores on Express Tour running up inside of me, and I had to hold my position. I really had the ride to hold Flores in the position he was in on Express Tour, and I try and give my horse a little bit of a breather right here, and I just I didn't get the response after the breather I was looking for.
All right, thank you, Gary. Gary on the favorite point given just did not fire. Right behind me, Georgie Chavez is on the phone with the stewards, and we'll see if we can pick this up.
Really? All right.
The stewards are looking at this right now. Georgie Chavez talking to the steward right now.
I touch nobody. And the corporal, no, stop the stretch. I don't think so. I go to the outside, and I was clear, boss.
Telling him he was clear at the top of the stretch. Georgie Chavez, the claim of foul is at the quarter pole, the top of the stretch, and you thought you were clear?
Yeah, I think so was clear. I don't think nobody was close to me. My horse was exploding, so my horse just, when I just let him go, he was just go, you know. I don't think so makes sense. If I go out inside, I don't think so I bother nobody.
Were you even aware that Velasquez was there with Invisible Ink?
I don't even see him. I don't know where he was. Only what I know, I have so much horse, and my horse he was exploding, you know, he was going.
All right, they're calling for you now, Georgie. The claim of foul, Invisible Ink, against Georgie Velasquez on the winner, Monarchos, and it's in the hands of the stewards now, Tom.
All right, Mike, the running of the Derby has never seen the winner disqualified for the running of the race. The only disqualification in 1968 when Dancer's Image was found to have butazolidine, then illegal in his system after the pre-race or post-race test, moving forward pass up to the win. So Invisible Ink claiming foul. The stewards in their stands studying the videotape, and they have made their decision. The race is official. The race is official, and Monarchos is the official winner. There he is, number 16, Monarchos, who has completed the Derby in the second fastest time ever. Only Secretariat ran faster. The time 1:59.4. Georgie Chavez wiping his brow after surviving the claim of foul. John Ward gives him a leg back up for the official photo. And Monarchos heading to the winner's circle. So a wave of the cap for Jorge Chavez as Monarchos pays $23. Invisible Ink $46.60. Congaree was third. Look at those exacta and trifecta payouts. Back for the winner's circle in a moment.